Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Money decisions don't have to be either or. With Bank of America, they can be yes and. Like yes to sunny vacations and rainy day funds. Can our digital tools and guidance help you create the future you want? Yes. And help you keep enjoying today too. Do more with a bank that asks, what would you like the power to do? Explore our tips and more at bankofamerica.com/yes and.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Welcome, dear listeners. The crowd reaction, that energised crowd reaction you can hear is in response to the Ibiza style light show pre-match. Millwall versus Leeds. Welcome, dear listeners, to Achtung Millwall. It was a load of shite, I think is my personal opinion. But there we are, that's modern football. I've only just spoken to the Independent for an interview where I asked for the club to succeed, do we need to generate more money? And I took that to mean, do we join modern football? I suppose that's one of the prices you have to pay. But certainly the Millwall crowd expressed its disapproval, put it that way, of the pre-match light show. There we are. Anyway, dear listeners, welcome to Achtung Millwall. My name is Nick Hart. We are in the prelims to tonight's home fixture, big match, Millwall versus Leeds, one of the great pantomime occasions. That was a pantomime we just had with that light show. There we are. This. I should have done the light show to that, dear listeners, shouldn't they? We are waiting for the two teams to come into the arena. Here they come indeed. Leeds will be in, looks like an all yellow, strip lines will be in dark blue and white. Your Millwall side for this big game. Millwall after that win in 7th position on Saturday. A couple of changes to tonight's lineup. Neil Harris did say he'd make adjustments. Jensen in goal, back line Leonard, Kuba, Tanganga, Danny Mack starts tonight. Joe Bryan, of course, leaving the pitch with a bang on the head on Saturday. I think he's suspended. In front of them, we've got Jimmy Savile, George Savile, got Savile on my head, Ryan Wintle. So Casper Denor, who I thought played very, very well Saturday, is on the bench tonight. In front of the defensive two, we have George Honeyman, Romain Esse, Duncan Watmore up front. Macaulay Langstaff starts tonight. The bench, Liam Roberts, Murray Wallace, Sean Hutchinson, Femi Aziz, who I thought played very well, Danny Kelly, Josh Coburn, Aidan Marco, Casper Denor and Mihailo Ivanovic. Leeds are the best team I've watched all season, says Neil Harris, speaking to the South London Press. I know Sunderland are top of the league, but Leeds have just got an X factor, he says, and strength in depth to their squad to stay there all season. Leeds are certainly the best football team, possession-based in the league. So they're sitting third as we go into tonight's Wednesday fixtures. 26 points for Leeds, just one defeat all season. The Lions sitting in 8th after last night's results, but that was a great win on Saturday over Burnley at home, giving us a real platform to potentially progress into the playoff zone if we win tonight. So fingers crossed, dear listeners. Mill will be attacking the away end in the first half. And the guest Leeds will kick us off, indeed so. And as the Venerable Bede once said, Mill shall attack if ye first half away end. Or back then English was in a differently structured sentence. Anyway. Away we go. Good crowd in here tonight. A few empty seats over on the far side, midweek fixture syndrome, but otherwise it's decently filled out. Block 1, that's for sure. I think that's the family zone over there, isn't it? I'm asking you like you can see what I'm talking about. It's a cool, crisp night, dear listeners. A bit of mist in the air. Flags just fluttering a very gentle breeze. This is one of the great pantomime fixtures, as I said already. There's a second rendition of the Jimmy Savile song. There was a finger-wagging message posted on X about tragedy abuse. I'm not sure where that sits in the pantheon of offensiveness. Not very nice if you're one of Savile's victims, I suppose, but there we are. Huge pressing performance on Saturday versus Burnley. We're going to have to match that tonight, I think, against, as Neil Harris says, one of the best teams in the division. Managed by Daniel Farker, which is a great name, isn't it? Replete for comic effect. He sure almost sounds like it should be in a carry-on movie. Carry-on football. Oh, Mr. Farker. There's the third rendition of Jimmy Savile songbook, dear listeners. Well, Leeds have been in possession pretty much since kick-off. We're coming towards 3 minutes into the game and we haven't actually touched the football yet. That said, they're just passing it around amongst themselves on the halfway line. So no danger so far, but that's their style. Millwall won on Saturday with 35% possession. So, as Neil said after the game, that those kinds of statistics aren't any great guide to the bottom line, which is the final score. Here they come down our left, run into the box, a little dangerous little jinky run. That's gone out of play. Goal kick. Chance for Leeds to break on the left side. Good work escorted back there by Japhet Tanganga, allowing Lucas Jensen to come out and collect. Incidentally, it was a fantastic mishap in the misheard lyrics in the online programme they send out to you before the game. There's a profile of Lucas Jensen. He sounds very Danish, but he says his pre-match music that he likes to listen to is opera, as in O-P-R-A-H, the TV magnate Oprah Winfrey. I think it does, of course, mean opera. So whichever young journalist did that piece has never heard of opera. I thought it was funny anyway. Barbara of Seville, not Oprah Winfrey. Oh well, there we go. Made me laugh. Over the crossfield ball, Jake Cooper. How much that he meant, I don't know, but he finds Ryan Leonard. Now Romain Esse on the right side. Overlap with Ryan Leonard. Ball's across the face of the goal, just over the head of everyone, including George Honeyman lurking at the far post. I think this is the applause for Tony Macklin, one of a fan who's passed away recently. 9 minutes. An online thing I saw the other day. R.I.P. to Tony and the condolences to his family. Leeds are students of the Pep Guardiola school, listeners. Pass it, and bore you to a coma. Here they come though on our left side. Good tackle there, Japhet Tanganga. Hoofed clear. We're on 15 minutes. It's been Leeds trying to pass the ball around when they get the ball. And we've actually shown a bit of pressing intent like we did on Saturday. So both sides setting their stall out. Neil Harris speaking to, I think this is Southwark News, says we know the importance of the first goal. It's why it's so important. If you can't be creative, be solid without the ball and difficult to break down, he says. So get that first goal being crucial. I think there was some statistic I saw on Sky TV, one of their captions saying we very rarely lose when we go one goal up in the last 15 games. I think it's 13 times we haven't been beaten, something like that. Leeds now a bit of space to 7. 2's overlapping, there's a ball into the box that was almost spaced for the lurking attacker there. Left side, 29. Space for the 11, there we get a shot. Great save down the belly of Lucas Jensen, who I think is gaining confidence game by game by game. And he likes Oprah Winfrey. I'll stop going on about it. Jake has a moment there, listeners. Gives the ball away. This is a chance now for the 29. Can he get a shot in? Blocked by Japhet Tanganga. Pulls Jake Cooper out of trouble. Cleans up there. Concedes the left-sided corner, but Jake took his eye off the ball there. A little brain freeze. Free chance there for the 29, but thankfully it's gone for a left-sided corner. Well, so far, the most excitement that Millwall's given the home crowd to get behind has been that light show reaction, dear listeners. We're on coming towards 21 minutes, coming towards the halfway point of the first half. We're very much in the game, but Leeds do look like they can pass the ball and use it very, very well. So we've got to be on our A game tonight, dear listeners. This is Leeds on the left. A lot of possession so far in the half for Leeds, dear listeners. We're on 28 minutes. I don't want to see that stat. It's probably a scary one in terms of disproportional possession for Leeds United so far, but it's 0-0, and a couple of shots on target for Leeds. Nothing that's really troubled Lucas Jensen. Otherwise, not much to report so far, dear listeners, from a Millwall perspective, certainly. The Southwark News asks how long we can keep continuing to win 1-0 with these kinds of tactics. I don't know the answer to that question. We've done well with it on a few occasions this season, but at the moment it does. There's a ball into touch, thankfully, by Leeds, a mistake. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the stats are so far. It seems to be a lot of Leeds possession so far. Crowd doing their best to try and get behind the lines because we've really been sitting back and soaking it up so far. 32 minutes. Ball breaks. Handball, surely. Romain forces handball from the 15. Midfield free kick. Central, about halfway inside the Leeds half. Probably too central for a decent cross. Way too far for a shot. You need Daniel Passarella, one for the older listeners there, from the Argentine 78 World Cup. He might have had a go from here, but I don't think we've got anyone to match that skill set. 39 minutes going towards 40. Making short, is floated in by Ron Leonard towards Jake. He gets the ball to it, falls to 1-0 Millwall! Tanganga! Touches it in from the head down by Jake Cooper from out of nowhere. Well taken ball. Kind of pokes it in with us like he's passing the ball, past the into the net. 1-0 Millwall! That crucial first goal that Neil Harris was mentioning to the press, the gentleman of the press. Let's have a look at it on the big screen. Free kick taken short, is floated in by Ryan Leonard, right to left. Cooper gets his head to it, and there's Tanganga on the end of it. Pokes it in at the right side, low corner. 1-0 Millwall, dear listeners. Game on. 41 minutes. That's woke the crowd up. Neil Harris speaking to the South London mentions the importance of spreading the goals around. We clearly don't have a dynamic goal scorer, and Macaulay Langstaff is not being used in that kind of role. So we've got to spread it around. So Tanganga joins Jake Cooper in the defensive scoring lists. 29 turns Ryan Leonard there. That's a great sliding tackle. Who was that? Joe Saville? It's Wintle. Left-sided corner for Leeds, 42 minutes. One from the old school there, dear listeners. Coldblow Lane songbook. Dirty northern bastards. Anyway, left-sided corner here. Ball into the near post. It flashes across the goal. Wow. It's going to go for a goal kick. There's the half-time break. Mill lead it 1-0 against the run of play, some might say, but we'll take it all day long. Work to do in the second half, of course, but at half-time it's Millwall 1, Leeds United 0.
Feel your max with Brooks Running and the all-new Ghost Max 2. They're the shoes you deserve, designed to streamline your stride and help protect your body. Treat yourself to feel-good landings on an ultra-high stack of super comfy nitrogen-infused cushion that takes the edge off every step, every day. The Brooks Ghost Max 2. You know, technically, they're a form of self-care. Brooks, let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
Blinds.com is kicking off the savings early with Black Friday mega deals all month long. A Blinds.com design expert can help you make the perfect selection on your schedule. We can even handle everything from measure to your whole home install for just one low cost. With over 25 million windows covered, Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Get up to 45% off site-wide, plus premium doorbusters and a free professional measure. Now at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
The holiday season officially starts when you get that first card in the mail. Shutterfly makes it easy to add more meaning to the everyday with hundreds of holiday card designs that can be personalized in seconds with your favorite photos from this year. Select your greeting, customize the color, and even add little extras like personalized foil to make a holiday card that really shines. Enjoy 40% off with code SMILE40 at Shutterfly.com and send something meaningful this year. See site for more details.
Well, welcome back, dear listeners. Welcome back for the second half. Both teams are out, lined up, ready to kick off. Mill leading, of course, by that well-finished Japhet Tanganga goal in the first half. After, I don't know what the possession stats are, I haven't even looked. I don't really care. The only statistic that matters is the ultimate final score. So, at the moment, that'll be Millwall 1, Leeds 0. Let's hope it stays that way in the second half. I think we've got a lot of work to do. Leeds will not want to be as ineffective as they were at times in that first half. Remember a couple of shots, otherwise it's been possession for them and not an awful lot to show for it in truth. So Lions will want to contain them on, and hopefully can we dream of a cushion of a second goal? That would be nice. Nice little move by Leeds, works a bit of space on the right side. A bullet header crossing from the right side, the 29 heads over the bar. Lions dodged a bit of a bullet there. That was actually a decent move down the right side. Decent crossing, and he caught it powerfully, but it was just over the bar. 46 minutes. SA leaves his calling card on the 7, a quickly taken free kick down here on the left side. This is Ryan Leonard skids unfortunately, gives the ball back to the 11. This is a chance now for Leeds to stay back in possession. The 22 spreads it wide right. More possession. This is the 7 there, back on the left side. He'll have a shot, he has a shot. It's a stinging shot and taken well by Lucas Jensen, berating his defenders for allowing that shot in. He's on target, and he did well to collect that. 49 minutes. Mill under a bit of pressure here at the start of the second half. Leeds are coming at them. They probably feel themselves to be slightly cheated by that Tanganga goal in the first half. And the Lions have got to stay switched on here, dear listeners. Right-sided corner now. Deep one, it's headed clear by Langstaff, straight to the 11 unfortunately, who's going backwards all the way back to his goalkeeper. Good work, Macaulay. Good applause for it, you can hear it. Well, the Burnley win is described by the South Londoners tight. This is tight tonight, dear listeners. Barely a cigarette paper between the two sides really. Mill leading by that first half goal from Tanganga, but we've been enduring pressure all the way through so far. Second half started off as Leeds really ran the first half, football passing. Ball out wide right now. Cross comes in, it falls to the 10. Offside, wow. He slammed it in the net there. Linesman raises the flag after the event, as is the modern style, but I thought for a moment that had skidded off a Millwall foot there. But anyway, offsides are judged. Scratch that goal, dear listeners. Remains 1-0. 61 minutes. Lions dodged a bit of a bullet there, in my opinion. A couple of substitutions. Looks like Coburn's coming in for Macaulay Langstaff. And looks like Casper Denor. I'm going to guess Watmore coming out, is that? It looks like Watmore. Leeds pressing forwards here. Tackles flying in, left, right and centre. They do have a yellow shirt on the edge of the penalty. It's ball into the mix. There's Tanganga to head it clear, straight to a Leeds player, unfortunately, and just anywhere will do from George Honeyman. Just Mill a chance to push outwards a little bit. The 2's down. Over to the 29 now on the left side. Play has continued. Fantastic tackle by Ryan Leonard on the 29, left-sided corner. 65 minutes, dear listeners. It's been 65 minutes, largely speaking of Leeds possession. Second half, particularly Leeds pressure. This is not good for my old ticker. The 8's going to take this left-sided corner. Lucas shielding his eyes from these floodlights, which have been brightened up to suit the Football League's lux values. That's going to go for a right-sided corner. In it comes. That's Coburn with the header. Shot back in. There's an offside flag goes up. Thank God for that. For one moment, it was going to fall into the path of a Leeds player there. Passing train on the southern region, if that still exists. Trundle's past. Over at the Coldblow Lane end. Great tackle there, Casper Denor. Great little dribble there by Josh Coburn. Where did that come from? He's under the run here. He couldn't get any power on the pass. Moment there, it was overlapping. That was Wintle, I think, overlapping there. He just couldn't get any power on the pass through. It just fell short. Nice little dribble out of defence there by Josh Coburn. 71 minutes, dear listeners. Little substitution. Romain Esse's coming out. Femi Aziz comes in. Leeds now, coming down the right side. This has the feel of an FA Cup tie, listeners. Shot into the ground, it's managed to get blocked there. Yeah, kind of a cup tie run with these 1-0 wins. We've not won this one yet, of course. But it's wing and a prayer defending against a decent side, highly expensive side by comparison with ours. And somehow we've scratched out a win against Burnley, and at the moment we're leading 1-0 against Leeds United, both highly placed in the division. It does have that kind of cup tie run vibe about it. Since I've seen that light show, listeners, I'm all about the vibe. Coburn wins a free kick. I think Aziz wanted there. He actually had the ball in space, but free kick right sides, just near that 5 yards short of the angle of the right side penalty area. Saville and Honeyman standing over. We have the big units forward. There's one Leeds forward back. Two Mill defenders in the centre. Ball headed into the... Oh, he's headed against the post! That looks like Femi Aziz. A ball back from Jake Cooper, I think that was, and then headed against the post by Femi. Frustration starting to creep into the Leeds game, I think. We've managed to keep the ball in their half for a few minutes now. And that will frustrate them. We're ticking towards 87 minutes. There's a free kick for Jules Saville. I imagine he's going to float it in towards Jake and Japhet Tanganga. Right to left, in it comes. Deep. Tanganga gets a header to it, runs through to the goalkeeper. Tanganga named as man of the match. I think I'll go with that tonight, listeners. The whole defensive line under a lot of pressure the whole game. Japhet, scorer of the goal, and a mainstay, the rock. He is the rock of our defence. No dispute from that man of the match call from me. Leeds full team tries to cut inside. Jake gets a half a touch to it. It's in the air. It's on possession on the edge of the penalty. It's a shot on target. Lucas Jensen takes it. I nearly said Lucas Neil, dear listeners. There's a name from the past for you. 4 minutes. 4 minutes to go. Sloppy play now. Leeds are getting frustrated and tired, I think. Not much has gone well for them in this game. They've had loads and loads of the ball. Chances, a few chances. I suppose they would look at the disallowed goal, maybe. Offside. A couple of moments where Lucas Jensen's taken the ball, it's shots on target, but no great venom. So it will be a frustrating night in South Bermondsey if it stays this way. We've just got a couple of minutes to go, dear listeners. There we go, right-sided corner. Always creates a sense of mayhem when a goalkeeper comes forward, listeners, doesn't it? In it comes, it flicks off the head. There's Jake Cooper, ball shot over the bar. Danny Mack go on the floor. Huge performance, Millwall, dear listeners. I mean, we've soaked up pressure pretty much non-stop across the whole game. Still the only division is that goal by Japhet Tanganga in the first half. Leeds will feel themselves mightily frustrated. But this is another win, another 1-0 win. The question posed in the Southwark News is how many more of these 1-0 wins can Millwall scratch up? Well, one more tonight is the answer to that question. Man of the match, yeah, Tanganga, won't argue. A whole 11 though. Everyone's contributed to this massive performance tonight, and I think this takes us into the playoff zone. Fifth, did I see earlier on? I looked. There it is! Once again, Leeds on seen-off. They'll be asking themselves, how did that happen? We don't give a shit, dear listeners. Millwall 1, Leeds 0. Joyous scenes all round the den. No light show needed. Take it away. Status quo. We'll be back after these messages.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write 1 million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Run a restaurant and you learn pretty quick. The sound of a crisp fry starts way before the first bite. As delivery and to-go keeps business booming,
order for pickup.
McCain's SureCrisp fries keep orders crispy.
Hey, delivery.
After the trip, the crispiness comes through. McCain's SureCrisp fries. Go the distance. See how far our fries can take your business at surecrisp.com/delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Achtung, Millwall.
Aaron Paul, how did we do that, eh?
Vintage Millwall again, isn't it?
Neil Harris 11. Neil Harris performance.
Neil Harris performance, proper Millwall performance. You know, people have criticised over the past years. They said that managers, and I use one manager in particular because Gary Rowett was here longest, never harnessed the power of this place.
Yeah.
Tonight, that team harnessed the power of this place. You know, I know people maybe looked at Ryan Wintle in the 11 you know, you never know.
I thought he did well tonight.
I thought he did well. I thought everyone, Danny Mack was brilliant.
It was one of those cliches. I mean, Tanganga, man of the match. I won't argue with that, but that's 11 men of the match.
But do you know what? Do you expect Millwall to come out here, play tiki-taka football and absolutely blitz a team away?
We can't match Leeds. They're a good side. That's a very good side.
They've spunked 170, 200 million pound under 11.
Yeah.
Fine.
And it showed.
Flair players.
Yeah.
Nonto's a fantastic player. You know, I don't think half of their players turned up tonight. But what you got from Millwall was a vintage den performance. That is a Neil Harris signature performance.
100%.
Signing off somewhere with that. And it was class. And the crowd showed their appreciation, you know, singing his name at the end, which was great. Tanganga got a great reception. All of them out there. Can't think of a player who put a foot wrong.
We're into the playoffs, Aaron.
Fifth.
How did that happen?
I checked at the end and I was like, I checked the tables. Fifth, I was like, geez,
I know,
man,
it's
this
incredible.
is crazy. You're going to get nosebleed soon, Uncle Nick. But, I mean, it very much feels that Millwall out of that funk. And I say that with caution because I know that a couple of bad results and people are going to be on it
people
and
get
say,
on
well, you know, the 4-1-0 wins in a row.
Yeah.
That's so Millwall.
Couldn't have asked for more.
I'm gutted that Coburn didn't look up when all those players were in space.
I thought he did well when he came in.
Do you know what? I saw Neil, and you know with Neil, Neil Harris just loves football. I've spent so much time with him outside of here. He loves football. He loves talking about football. He loves the coaching element of it. He loves all that. So when Coburn held the ball up beautifully on that far side, he was applauding like a fan. He was applauding like a fan. And they just feels like there's a togetherness, there's a unity. And, people criticise where this club has gone over the past year or so, the signings, the tumultuous reign of Edwards, who feels like...
Seems a long while ago, doesn't it? Raises questions. If we are in the frame in January, will money be spent to press on?
I believe so.
Got to.
You look at this division right now, people are talking about Watford as playoff frontrunners. Mate, look how inconsistent they are. You look at the teams out there, look how inconsistent everyone is. This is a marathon, not a sprint. I always say that about the EFL. It's not like the Premier League, it's not like any other competition in the world. You have 46 games to do it. You can drop points left, right and centre. Leeds have dropped points here tonight. It's the first time they've been beaten on the road this season. They're going with the league.
Magnificent. Magnificent.
They're going with the league. On it. It's just like, this is, they'll be sat there going, oh shit, we got beat 1-0 at Millwall, gutted, and everyone will be gutted, and you look at what they're doing. Sorry, my manager, Johnny
I better make
is
a go.
asking me to get his bag.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
Uncle Nick.
Good to see you, mate.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Achtung Millwall. Arrivederci. Big in Botswana, massive in Mogadishu.
See you soon, Aaron. Huge welcome on the show in the aftermath of that magnificent 1-0 win last night over Leeds to show regular Graham Payne. Good morning, Graham. How are you doing, mate?
Good morning, Nick. Yes, very well indeed.
What a show it was last night. I was trying to think of an equivalent performance. I mean, we've had two in very short order with Burnley on Sunday, and then Leeds against Saturday. Last night's game felt even tenser, if possible, if that's a word, tenser than Burnley's. I mean, it was a magnificent team performance, Graham. I'm struggling for the right words to capture it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, what set it off and all, the first 2 minutes of the game, I don't think we touched the ball.
No, we didn't.
Were just knocking it about. I looked at me, mate, I looked at the clock, I said, it's 2 minutes, we ain't touched the ball. Yeah, I mean, we just, we seemed to just grow into the game. And, I mean, it was just a fabulous night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's, at the end of the game, I spoke to Aaron, and he got it right. It was a magnificent Neil Harris Millwall classic performance. I mean, it becomes a bit of a cliche to say this kind of stuff, but it really was last night. I mean, I'm just looking at the statistics, not that they don't mean anything, actually, when you think that we've won 2 games against, fairly well-rated sides both in their different ways, Burnley and then Leeds last night, Graham. Yeah. 25% possession last night. I think it was about the same on Saturday. So that's 2 games in which we've not had the ball for 3/4 of it, and somehow we've prevailed. It's strange old game, football, in many ways, isn't it? I think Farker said that after the game in his press conference, that any other sport, you're thinking of, I think he quoted basketball and rugby or whatever, the better team normally prevails, but don't always work out in football. That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And as you say, I mean, whatever you say, I mean, and I love my hands up, I've said it time and time again, I was against Neil Harris coming back, but Neil Harris at the Den for a big game, there's no one more you'd want in charge of the team, to be honest, because he knows how to do it. The amount of big games that he's won at the Den, it's just, he over his 2 spells and all. You go back to some of the cup games and all. Before. There's
a statistic I saw. I haven't got it to hand, actually. I should have had it with me. But, I mean, the number of points. Haven't we gained the most points since his return in February? Obviously, that's spread across 2 seasons. So, although we're now sitting 5th in the table, unbelievably. I don't know where that's come from. Anyway, we'll have it. But, I mean, the most points, I think it even outstrips Leeds, who we obviously, up against last night, rather. It's a magnificent performance. I mean, you're right. He has his critics, and there's plenty of them that are willing to come online or even on this show sometimes and argue against Neil Harris and Harris Ball. But I can't think of a more dramatic, a man with a greater sense of the drama of the Den, which is a unique place. I mean, we saw it last night with the light show. My little video, listeners, has gone viral. I did a little video of the light show, which seems to have captured the imagination of the internet public, which is a very strange experience. But Millwall's a certain place, Graham, and you can't deliver patsy football. It's got to be maximum blood, sweat, and tears, which is what we saw last night. It was a wonderful team showing. I can't fault a player. I can't fault a player over the 2 games, Burnley and Leeds. Huge depths of energy and endurance to go through 2 games with very similar approach, which is endure it, soak up the pressure, and then hit on the brake. You know, I mean, that must be a draining way to play football. The fitness required is incredible.
I mean, he freshened it up last night, didn't he? He dropped out to Noor and Aziz.
Yeah, brought in Wintle. Well, I've been quite impressed with Wintle, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, he puts himself around. He's not a player that you know, kind of imposes himself on the mind, but and the whole back line. I mean, obviously, Danny Mack, we know always is going to give you a strong defensive performance, and he was part of a magnificent unit because pretty much it was possession and therefore pressure for 90 minutes or 90 plus minutes, the time you've thrown in the added time, and that requires massive amounts of concentration. There was one moment, I think, in the second half where Jake just took his eye off the ball and was it in the first half, and almost conceded a chance to Leeds. But apart from that, I can't think of any errors or mistakes. Really, it's magnificent stuff. I'm actually lost for words with it, Graham. I don't know how to describe the amount of effort required for these two results.
I mean, as you say, Danny Mack was up against that James, who's rapid and
very good wingers. Wow.
Yeah, and he more held his own.
Yeah,
especially because the second half it was down our side, the east side, and you know every time they were trying to feed James to go at Danny Mack, and he more held his own. And you actually think about it, Nick, how many big saves or real saves did Jensen have to make? That's how good the back four and the, you know, obviously the midfield as well were last night. He didn't.
No, absolutely restricted him to shots.
Standing save, couple of long range shots in the first half, I think.
Yeah, which he took. I can think of a couple in the first half where they were fired at him, so he was able to collect them in his belly, basically. But you're right. He wasn't required to really pull off any top draw saves. These should be routine for a goalkeeper at this level. He's really improved, Graham. And you think he struggled with his confidence at the start of the season. But increasingly, he's looking the part now. And it's a big stage to fill, isn't it? I mean, the Den last night for the Panto visit of Leeds United, we all know what that means. But it's, you know, it can make or break a player. And I'm really pleased to be able to say that Lucas Jensen seems to be being made by the Den. He seems to relish it. Not everyone does.
You only had to see him. I don't know if it was where you sit at the end, where he was giving it to the Leeds fans.
He was giving him some. Yeah, great. You know.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think he's totally bought into the Den.
Well, players even love it. I mean, I think Tanganga loves it. I mean, you know, man of the match last night, rightly so. Although, I mean, I think you could name pretty much anyone from that midfield, defensive two, Saville, Wintle, anyone really from the back line would fit the bill. But I mean, Tanganga is our rock and justifiably man of the match last night. The scorer of the goal, probably the one real chance we had across the 95. I mean, we hit the post, didn't we? There was an incident. Was it the second half, Graham, where we?
Yeah, that would have been an own goal, actually.
Would it?
A free kick came in, and it was the Leeds player who actually had
touched it. Right.
The post, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I saw I know about stats and all that, but since the Bristol City game, we've not let in more than one goal in any game, and that's since Tanganga's come back, you know, from his suspension.
That's amazing.
He could definitely play in the Premier League to me, Tanganga. You know, it's amazing how we actually got him in the first place, but it's a great bit of business by the club. You know, absolutely.
I mean, I think that, you know, people have been, you know, there's been a lot of criticism flying around the Den over the course of the summertime. People leaving, and you know, Snipes at the start of the season in all directions. I don't think there's any. You know, I don't think there are any saints or sinners in this, but I've got to say some of the recruitment's been brilliant. I mean, I thought Coburn coming in last night, back from injury, really, really brought something to the. I mean, he's keeping out the boy Ivanovic, who is a 2-point-something million pounds or euro player, and shows us a lot of promise, Graham. I mean, whenever I've seen him play, I thought, wow, yeah, the boy looks the part. You know, I suppose. It's a night for men rather than boys last night, and Coburn really stepped up to the plate, I thought, when he did come in. Gave us a bit of iron up front. But still.
No disrespect to Langstaff, but I think we need Coburn up front from the start as soon as possible, because the difference he made when he come on.
Yeah.
You know, the five knew he was in a game then, you know, when the ball was going up to him. And that run, when he went for, I thought he was going to go all the way.
I think he just ran out of steam, didn't he?
Yeah. But I think the sooner... No, I mean, Langstaff, unfortunately, I think he's a striker who needs to play in a 2.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
That's got to be Coburn for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I can't see, as much as we've all been calling for the 2, unless we're up against particularly, cheaper opponents, and you can't really take anyone for granted in this division. I mean, as much as we've had 2 great results last night, we're going to Stoke City on Saturday, and that's a banana skin fixture in some ways, because you can beat Leeds, you can beat Burnley, and then fall flat on your face at what's it called, the Bet365 Stadium. So we've got to take each game with the right amount of respect, I think. But no, I can't see that formation changing, to be honest. It's as long as it's being successful. And I think Neil Harris said it in his post-match, Graham, that when we're playing the prettier football, if you like, we're getting beat. And now we've gone back to Millwall basics, grinding out games. We're getting the results. So, I think everyone's got to be realistic about what kind of football they're going to see at the Den. And whether you love it or hate it, you can't argue with the bottom line. And the bottom line last night was a 1-0 win. All those statistics mean nothing, do they? Possession and whatever else they come up with, it means nothing against that bottom line. And that's taken us to 5th. That's quite incredible.
As we said the last time, was it? We're normally either promotion or Stevenage away, so no Stevenage.
We're dreaming of going to see Pep and playing at Arsenal and whatnot. I don't know. It's mad. I mean, it will raise a question, I think, for James Berylson come the January window. I mean, if we're still in the mix, which we don't want to get altitude sickness here, but we are. We've suddenly shot up the table, and I think if you're going into Christmas still in the top 6 or in the running for it, then it raises a question for him as to whether he wants to put money in and bring in the kind of players that will press on for that, second half of the season. I think we've got to be realistic that Romain Esse, possibly even Japhet Tanganga, might well be, highly sought after players at the end of the season. So we will need to think about that, I suppose. But I've been quite impressed with the quality of recruitment. They've been slagged off left, right, and centre. Gallen, Steve Gallen, was it Kevin Gallen? I can never remember. Steve. Yeah. I mean, he's been slagged, but he's a quiet man behind the scenes. He did one interview where I thought he was quietly impressive, but you can only look at the names and the, I mean, that was Tanganga, I suppose, was under Aldo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think we've got a platform, and it's wonderful to see it. I think Neil, in his post-match, said that Leeds were the best team we've played. I'd kind of agree with that. They certainly kept the ball very well, passing it around. Maybe if you're seeing that played with top players, it would bore me rigid, that kind of football, the Burnley style, and to a lesser extent, I think Leeds are a bit more sharper. It bore me rigid, Graham. What are you watching?
Leeds, it would bore me rigid. I think I was talking about how everyone since Guardiola came over, he's the guy. Everyone must play that way, and it's boring at times. But I was going to say, I think Leeds were a better side than Burnley.
A long way. I mean, we caught a break with that offside goal. It's kind of in line. I mean, it was a very close decision. I'm not sure if VAR existed in the Championship, which thank Christ it don't. We mightn't have got away with that one, because I think that was a good goal, to be honest. Nice move, and they showed that was the 7, I think, going down the right flank. The 29 was good. Nonto, I'm just seeing on the team list. They have a good array of talent, and Neil's predicted them to win the league. We'll see. See. We might be in with a shout ourselves.
I'm going to remember.
We might have something to say about that, might we?
I'd say that was. I've seen some highlights, Nick, and it was on co-commentaries
last night.
Gary Rowett.
Oh, was he?
I wonder what he made of it, because he could never, in all the big games, he could never get the Den like that, could he?
No, he couldn't tap into the Den. Neil Harris can, Rowett couldn't, and Joe Edwards certainly couldn't, despite good intentions by both of them. But I don't think Gary Rowett. You've either come from it, you're either part of the Den. It's the ultimate insular club in a sense, Graham. I think you either spring from it. To come into it from the outside is a very tough thing, and I don't think Rowett ever truly, what's that awful expression, he got the den. I mean, you can't put your finger on what that intangible thing is, but it's a kind of a sense of the drama of the occasion. Leeds at home is pantomime, isn't it? I mean, you had all the songs last night, all the usual.
You just think back to the Leeds game last season when Rowett was still in charge.
Flat as a pancake. Flat as a pancake.
No atmosphere. No. You know, they walked all over us. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's some Gary Rowett up in a big game at the Den. I think that game, to be honest.
Well, the only time that Rowett ever inadvertently got the Den going, he called it Millwall chaos, didn't he? And he didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know. As I say, I think you either come from it or you can't really come into it from the outside in managerial terms. It must be it's a basic crossover. Neil comes from it and understands it, and we saw the benefits of it last night. 1-0 win over Leeds, magnificent win. 16,000, just short of 17,000 in the Den. Strange. I mean, obviously playing it midweek is always a bit of a pain in the arse, Graham. I think you would have had a better atmosphere on a Saturday. Some people raving about it. I thought it was a bit flat at times in the first half when we were being passed around. You know, I think it's quite difficult to get the crowd going, but certainly once the goal went in and for that second half, the crowd really got behind the boys. So fair play to the Den last night. Did you enjoy the light show before we close?
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? You know, I think the fact that he got seriously booed has made more than the actual light show.
You get also. I stuck a little video, listeners. You must have seen it. I'm sure if you're on Twitter, you must have seen it. I stuck a little video of it with my thoughts and musings over the top of it, which seems to have captured the imagination of the against modern football public. I'm getting all sorts of messages back. The only everyone seems to love it. And it's quite a strange thing, Graham. We've gone from being like the arch villains of the game, the kind of the Victorian villain twirling his moustache that everyone loves to hate, to suddenly becoming this bastion of football and working class, good, honest, salt of the earth values. I don't know what happened to produce that, but some people. The only anti-voice I had is one from Charlton Athletic for Life. He says,
right.
He says, tin pot. Charlton Athletic for Life sounds like a sentence you wouldn't even give to Hugh Edwards, you know.
Yeah, Charlton Athletic for Life.
Oh dear. Anyway, he's the only demurring voice so far. So apart from that, it's gone viral on the Twitter. So do have a look at it. Listen, it's quite funny, really. I think the booing of the light show. Someone from Coventry asks why are grown men getting excited over a light show. Coventry City. Anyway, there we are. Graham, big thank you, mate. On to Stoke on Saturday. We'll see what we get. I mean, the squad must be running on near the empty batteries now. I mean, probably be more rotation Saturday. I'll make you right about starting Coburn if he's got certainly the bulk of the game in him, and bring Langstaff in.
Perhaps. It's the early kick-off and all Saturday, isn't it?
12:30, yeah.
So it's a short turnaround for us, you know. But I suppose they played last night and all Stoke. So.
Yeah, same for everyone. But I'd imagine we might see Dinor coming back. Yeah. I thought he played well when he came in last night, but there we are. Graham, big thank you, mate. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Morning time.
Cheers, Nick. Thank you, mate.
And thank you to you too, dear listeners, for tuning in. We'll be doing a voicemail show later on today. Might get that out tomorrow, I dare say, with Merv. But until the next edition of Achtung Millwall from Graham and myself, it's Arrivederci Millwall, and bye for now.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.